moving forwards with it, Mibr Academy can now abuse. This is a 6th round now, close. Very close. There's an AWP carried over for Remix, but that's not much of a shout. They're going to be able to buy up into the next with the save, but if they can get a couple of guns into the hands of the players, maybe, just maybe, there is a little bit more to be said about this kind of a round, because we've seen them do things crazy with pistols before. With an AWP now thrown into the mix, maybe there's something to be seen. VLA, Deagle into mid, swinging out wide into the open crosshairs, line of sights of 2 players, the AWP and the AK. It'll be the rifle, though, that takes it with the head removed and down through the ramp. Everybody going for a little bit of this aggression. You said they were playing too passive, while playing aggressive with pistols, probably in a 1 versus 1 scenario, isn't for the best.
Yeah, I was thinking more of... I was thinking maybe try and take some more duels where you're holding with the weapons, not necessarily the pistols, because right now, as you can see, nothing goes their way. And BRN reacts in time, and that's a clean round from Mibr Academy. Now, that's not a bad one at all, Yes, they didn't get it when I said it before, but right now, their economy is looking very good. And yes, Oddik, they will have money to buy up, but the fact is, they're down 1-6, and maybe they came into the game thinking, well, we're playing against the Mibr Academy. We won last time on this map 16-4. Maybe even probably laughing around, oh, they picked again into this one where we won 16-4. Oh, this is going to be a quick win. No, Mibr Academy, they're looking very, very good. I guess they understood all of the mistakes that they did in that previous game. And right now, they're basically just running around getting headshots and getting things done. Oh, VLA, nice spot there. Expected that angle, that boost from Card. Gets himself into a different angle, and this is a pretty powerful angle that he can hold into mid. Should be hard for Mibr Academy to pass by him.
Well, we've seen damage be dealt before onto a round loss regardless by the end for Oddik, so long as nobody goes for any overextensions now, this is the time where you do need to kind of play passive, but you need to hold your angles aggressively, if that makes any sense. Remix, he is holding his rather aggressively far forward to the front side of the side hall. Nobody going to be walking into him just yet, though. Diozera is just hanging around for a late lurk. Everybody else heading over towards B again, and that is where they've had most of their success, pistols and otherwise. Almost every round ending here, it feels like, other than, I believe, the 2nd or 3rd, but regardless of that fact, we're here and now into the 7th round, and we'll see whether or not they can find similar success. Utility is light, they have a singular smoke, and Rise is already tagged down low. Needs some help from the player in the backside of default. Now he can get out of the way, and Remix finds his kill, but that's over towards A. They're still committed to this B bomb site, finding them one by one. VLA onto the swing back, the low HP player dealt with, still a man advantage onto the retake, and needs maybe a flash to come soaring over as this bomb is planted or something, because they're going to be able to get into post-plant scenarios where they're going to be able to take forward fights, but for them, the thing is, the only player with utility able to set them up for favorable late-round fights on the Mibr Academy side is Burn. He's close enough. Already at the front side of Generator, this won't be swept away by a double spray. Riccioli able to find it in a 1 versus 3 op. He is at the backside of White and finds his first. If he can get a close-range shot, combat op with the next, there could be a chance for this one, but through the corner, Remix finds his double.
Well, in the end, they find success, but it was, again, a 4-on-3 where basically all of the players from Mibr Academy were tagged down, and that was still, well, you could say kind of close. It was a 2-on-1. Yes, Oddik did win it in the end, but it was still a kind of a tight situation. And, well, Card did really well there to try and hold on his own, but, the angle was a little bit awkward that he was holding. And with that, they will be happy, Oddik, that they claimed another round, but Mibr Academy right now, they still have a lot of money in the bank. They can still buy even if they lose this one, so it's a comfortable place to be. And yes, they did mess up the previous round, but it's just looking good for them. And we'll see what Oddik managed to do here, because if they start racking up rounds, we can go back to that confidence, lessened as Mibr Academy, maybe they will start to feel, a little bit pressured, then that they're not doing that well anymore, because right now they're feeling good, right? As I say that, VLA takes down Burn, and the nade will take down Nady, actually. I think it was a double nade in the end, so there's a free trade that they find. Remix still towards Ivy with the op, and on the side of this, Riccioli waiting for their push.
This op has been pretty consistent when they do walk into him to find at least his one. Remix, definitely a player you would tout to have that sort of a stance, but as nobody's actually in the front side or back side of the A bomb sites to see them scaling up through the ramp, he walks into an open fire of 3 players heading right up and in. As they just want to get that bomb planted, they will be able to do so successfully, and as they try and do that, they get a couple of kills handed to them on a silver platter at the same time. The lack of information at the top side of the site really does come back to bite them, and everyone will fall as a result of it. VLA and Rise just trying to save these guns. AK-47 and A1S, you were talking about it. It is going to be a nice look for MIBR in general. If they can keep up the pace, and they're going to be looking really good moving forwards down the stretch. And the money was never in a good situation for Oddik. MIBR, they had more than enough into the reserves, and they're going to be building up even more than that with 4 players left standing. They even managed to take away one of the 2 guns that it's trying to save. The AK-47 isn't too far off, actually, from getting found. I'm not sure if the time will afford for it, but wrapping the bend now is Card. And no! Just as the graphic comes around, we'll never know until the end of the replays now whether or not he did get to save that gun. It would be really nice to have, considering they would have had nothing regardless, and an AK and armor is just really nice to have in general if you have to go for a full save, but he didn't save it.
Yeah, he did go down in the end, so MIBR Academy doing a good job on the hunt. And again, just because of their economy, because it was that good, they were able to just hunt there and not really paying any attention if any of them go down in the end, because they can still afford another one. Pretty comfortably then, I mean. And you know, they bought up some pistols here, Oddik, trying to revive one of those pistol rounds that worked out for them, but it's not going to be easy still, because as they build a bigger lead, it's just going to be looking even better for MIBR Academy and for their confidence. Diozera taking down Ricoli, and as long as they don't just, you know, walk through mollies and all of that, they should be good. I mean, yes, there's still a 5.7 and an MP9 in the mix, but they're still a little bit far away. So in those long-range duels, of course, the AKs will prevail. We'll see how the execution will look, and if the utility will force out all of the players just hiding, although Nate, he's trying to get close, and look at that angle from Diozera, getting the headshot quick enough. VLA will go down to Burn after he takes down PHX at least, so there's at least a single answer that has come through, and now Rise is all alone with that Deagle, trying to find a headshot here, and oh, he was close to finding one onto Car, but he's just going to be staying around, maybe an exit kill or 2, but you know, the chances are pretty slim. And again, those 2 teams are fighting for playoffs, right? They're in the 2-1 bracket. If they manage to win this one, it's well, you know, it's going to be the team that wins that makes it to the playoffs, and the team that loses is not eliminated just yet. You know, it's still in kind of a comfortable spot. There's still 1 win away from the playoffs, but you want to make it to playoffs as soon as possible. And if you get to the 2-2 bracket, then the pressure is on to fully. I mean, it's either do or die, and when you get to do or die, you don't get a second chance. It's basically your third already, so you better make the most of it. So yeah, it's still a very important game for both of those teams.
Yeah, more pressure on when you lose this game in terms of do or die, as you say. But other than that, it is you getting another lifeline. The game that you play next will likely be an easier matchup in terms of seeding. I mean, at least relatively speaking, because of course the team that you lose to that makes their way into playoffs should by all means be a team that deserves to be there. Should be one that's made themselves clear as a candidate for that position. 3-1 will be nice. 3-2 might not be the greatest of looks going into playoffs, but even so, a win is a win. You'll take that every day of the week. But going now from a 2-1 to a 2-3, that's just not a great feeling in general. So neither of the 2 teams really want to be on the receiving end of that sort of a scoreline record in Pinnacle Cup. Outing their first debut in this tournament cycle, as they have themselves 8 rounds already gained and a free B-bomb site, so to speak. I mean, they don't have the left side of the site exactly scaled off just yet. They still have to deal with VLA. They have a 4 versus 4. The op into the hands of both snipers of both teams. See which will strike first, because Card is actually holding for the flank, and Burns is actually holding for the mid push. He does more damage than anything else, but they're still split, and they still have information more than anything else, Oddik, that this is going to be a B site attack. They know that there are players still inside of the site itself. They know that there's a player at the bottom side of mid. So where they go from then on is going to be kind of rough on MIBR Academy, because they've got no more smokes to re-execute onto A or anything like that. They have to commit here. The only way that they get out of this is with fights, and a Molotov to the top of the boost. That's going to be the best thing that they have moving forwards for the post plan.
I'm getting ready with a need, but that's a little bit too late. I mean, he does take down PHX, but you know, Nyx is close, didn't take any damage from that also, and he takes down Nate. He strikes at the right time. Burn to find VLA. The Opera just came in, and he has to be careful of mid, so Burn, very smart decision to reposition. It's a long rotation, but you know, he can still surprise the two players left alive. Flash comes through, but Card peeks out early, and Riccoli, he's very close. Takes down the Opera, but Burn will win that duel against Riccoli, and he will secure the round for MIBR Academy. You know, it's basically the opposite of what happened in the map that he played 5-6 days ago, something like that. Because he was an 11-4 favoring Oddik on the CT side. MIBR Academy this time, they're up to 9. Oddik calling for their second tactical timeout. You know, the first one didn't really get any, a lot of results, and right now they need something to work with, because if they just keep on losing rounds, you know, MIBR Academy get to 13 in the first half, and a 13-2, especially on Vertigo, it's, well, I couldn't really call it a death sentence, because, you know, if as long as Oddik had a 12-3 lead on Mirage, and that was turned around, I guess it's not over till it's over, but it's just a very good spot to be in if you are MIBR Academy, right? You have an 11-round lead, you're 3 rounds away from closing out the map, and the pistol round could be everything, basically. But it is another half buy for the side of Oddik. They go for the pistols, for the 5.7s, for the Deagles, for the P250. So let's see how this one plays out for them. Because, you know, one of those rounds has been won on pistols. So we'll see what they can do here as smokes are being deployed, and MIBR Academy are trying to surprise with Rise. Tries to get close to that smoke. He's going to be found, but not before he gets a kill. Burn. Ooh, that's a nice headshot onto Riccoli. Fully blinded. VLA playing at the edge of the smoke with a 5.7. Diozera, and he takes him down. Card's answer, but not Nate. He takes down Burn. So it's a 2-on-2. It's still a dangerous situation for the side of MIBR Academy as VLA is taken out. Nate finds the frag onto PHX, and now it's a 1-on-1. Card has an AK, and timing favors him. He thought about it, you know, in the heat of the action, to swap from an op to an AK and just try and be aggressive. Don't let Oddik surprise you, or the last player, Nady, surprise you. And, well, that works out for them. So that's double digits for MIBR Academy. And, yeah, Oddik, they're close rounds, but in the end, it's still MIBR Academy to pull up ahead.
Very nice. It's afforded them another biotic, but I mean, what is it really going to matter? You said 13-2 wouldn't be a death sentence? I would. This isn't CT side Mirage. This is T side Vertigo that they're finding themselves this far up on MIBR Academy. And if you can't close out a 13-2 game, maybe this isn't the right level of play for you, to be completely honest. So we'll see how this pans out now, as 13-2 isn't looking too likely, as already a man advantage has been taken the way of Oddik early. Something we don't often see, I feel like. It's more like damage than anything else. And then a mid-round pick. But now that they can sit inside of their bomb sites without worrying about anything too early on in the stages of round number 13, utility still in the pockets of MIBR Academy, but only enough to get themselves into one of these 2 bomb sites, and where else but B. It's worked for them time and time again. There are 2 players here, one at the front side of default and one supporting from the back side of the generators, as the rotation will be here in time, so long as the kill is an instant in the back of the bomb site. As they do fire off a couple of shots, they know that they're here. They scale up and in. They have to stand tall. They've got to find frags. This can't be a round that you let fall with both players in the site dying. One already dealt with in Rise. Not enough utility to support himself. Needs some help now, and he'll back out. And they're playing all 4 now, grouped up, bodied for the retake, and this is not a good look considering how things were kicked off. I love this boost.
Oh. Okay. That's an interesting one. I think a couple of shots were fired off, and the molly just forces them out of position. But it was an interesting idea. I like how MIBR Academy are playing this one. And Burn and Diozera will get a couple of kills. Although there's some answer. Scar, nice reaction onto Rise. And the bomb has been tapped, but now they see no one is defusing. So Remix will find the shot onto Card. Ooh, and there's the headshot from PHX, even while falling. There's no problem. The op retrieved, and there's yet another round for MIBR Academy. It's just very weird for me how close those rounds are, and how Oddik can't find that break that they need. It's just MIBR Academy in the end winning them. Even though they're taken down to a single player alive, they can still close out rounds. It's 11-2, and it's just such a one-sided affair. Or I mean, in terms of rounds on the scoreboard, because in terms of the game, I wouldn't really call it one-sided. It was all of those rounds, or most of them. I guess I can think about a round or two that were one-sided completely for MIBR Academy. But Oddik, they're still doing good. It's just they don't find the last kill most of the times. And right now,
Yeah.
again, a quick trade from the 5-7. It's a 4-on-2, but it wouldn't be a surprise for me if Oddik managed to find some more kills and they make it very close again.
Yeah, this is just yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not as one-sided as the kill count and the round count might offer up to you, as I think definitely at most points of this game there were swing rounds Oddik could have had. I would say like 4 or 5 swing rounds they might have been able to pull away with in this game so far that they just weren't able to, right? If they're able to make their conversions happen, if they're able to negate the on-scaling of these pistols in the rounds that they lost against them and convert on man advantages as well as damage advantages with bomb sites and utility to boot, this could be a very different game. This could be as close to maybe even like an 8-7 half favoring Oddik in some ways. But, you know, it's a cruel mistress, that CT side economy on CS, and it's no different right now. It's certainly the bane of their existence, having to play for these pistols after losing out on these close retake scenarios or close post-plant clutches. And MIBR Academy are more than up to the task for. Card playing as well as he is bodes very well for them moving forwards down the stretch of this game and the best of 3 series and potentially even playoffs, so they can lock it down here. And Dio Zera has even surpassed him well and truly. They've got all of their players firing off on all cylinders. It's a matter of how long they can keep that up. And this B bomb site has just been a terrible mishap for the side of Oddik for the majority of this matchup. And again, they're just going to go towards B, because why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, as long as it works out and they can't really do anything about it. Sure, again, rounds were close, but you still won it in the end. And it's the last round of the first half. 10-round lead. Whatever happens here is just a very comfortable spot for MIBR Academy. Rice takes down 1, but it is Nyx to come in with the trade, making it a 4-on-4. And the rotation comes through. But, you know, the bomb is not close yet, so they could still go towards A. They could still fake it out here. Although Card does take the op and the bomb towards the site. And the site is basically open. That's the biggest problem of Oddik. They're trying to aggress towards mid. They're trying to get ahead of Oddik. But, you know, it's just very weird to see. Oh, this is going to be very smart. The 3-man boost for mid. I think they can see mid here. Oh, they can. Oh, that's so smart from MIBR Academy. Burn should have gone down and disassembled the boost. Yes, that's a fair assumption. But, you know, something completely unexpected, and Oddik didn't have any idea that was happening. The bomb is being planted right now, and we'll see how the retake comes through from Oddik.
Remix had a Molotov for default, but I guess doesn't opt to toss that one in, would rather use it for the retake. I guess that does make some sense, but Nyx's position is already so far forwards, able to find the kills required, and the last man left standing is going to be no better than the ones who had fallen before him. Nyx might be low, but it does not matter. The Opper not able to hit onto his shot. 1 bullet is all that he'll have to fire off before he's found and fragged. And 13-2, yeah, we were talking about that death sentence. Bring out the guillotine, my friend, because I think this one is about to be the head removed from the Oddik members, and MIBR are going to be the executioner.
I mean, just such a big difference. You wouldn't expect. Just seeing the stats, right? Seeing how this map usually doesn't go good for MIBR Academy. They still picked it, even though they lost 16-4 last time around. They played against Oddik 6 days ago. They still pick into it, and this is a very convincing lead here that they have. It's an 11-round lead. It's going to be hard for Oddik to try and pull this one back, and it seems like we're going to have just a big restart of the round, and also it was a knife in the back, but I think that the restart was called. A little bit of a technical issue that MIBR Academy are experiencing, but even with that, right? Even with just going back all the way to the pistol round, PHX that he lagged out, he disconnected as he tried to take the bomb to the site. It was still Nyx to pull through with an ace in the pistol round and win the round for MIBR Academy. And after that, you know, they stopped for a pistol round that Oddik won and a buy round, and that's about it. You know, it's just MIBR Academy. They played this so well. Again, Oddik, they tried to come back into some of those rounds, and they were close. It was a lot of 1v1s, but we're getting ready for the second half now. And MIBR Academy, they're 3 rounds away from closing out this first map. Oddik, nowhere to be found, basically.
If this is an MIBR Academy with a lagging PHX, then I don't know if I want to see them when he's not.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see them when he's at full capacity, because right now they already look as unstoppable as they possibly can. Good crossfire and crosshair placement set between those 2 entry fraggers from Oddik to be able to find those kills, though. An opening that you desperately need, and this is a good turnaround, I must say. 5 versus 2. We've seen them lose them before. I don't want to count them out of this one just yet, MIBR Academy, because they are firing still into the site with Diozera at the lead, but it's Remix's dualies able to find the hat trick. 1 tap pinned against the wall, and Nyx out of the flank too little too late. This one falls flat. And you got to say that this isn't going to be the start of anything incredible for the side of Oddik. It's going to be 11 rounds after this one that they need to in order to give themselves a lead, but I guess if something bodes well for you, I mean, at the bottom line, the silver lining to this, even if it isn't a victory, even if it isn't an overtime affair, is that I guess the rounds that you can pull together is just going to be better for the stat padding, because as of right now, this one looks like an absolute nightmare scenario. Boom. The dualies are a weapon that I love having seen fallen into meta recently, and I also like the fact that they actually pick it up off of one of the dead bodies and give them a taste of their own medicine.
Oh yeah, and you know, sometimes they're treacherous, right? You're just spamming, hoping that a headshot comes through, but that one never comes. This time it does, and you know, Oddik, yes, good for you, you won the pistol round, but you need 10 rounds in a row just to tie the game up. It's not impossible, as we've seen in MIBR Academy, get a lot of rounds in a row, but it's still gonna require a lot out of you and a lot less out of MIBR Academy. Card running away from that Galil, and Diozera could be in a perfect spot, because I don't think they ever expect him to be there, even if they push through Ivy. They did slow down here, Oddik, because again, you don't want to lose against the pistols, especially in this situation. Getting another round on the board for MIBR Academy, and you not having an answer into the next one, not having the economy to use, they're going to be very careful how they play this one out. Although, utility come out, and you want to check all of those angles. Wherever a pistol can hide, you need to check that, because there's probably going to be a player there.
Here it comes. Into the site. Scout tags could be good, but it's the pistols doing it first and foremost. Diozera finds his. Not ready for the player up high onto the ledge up above, though. And that's going to be a rough one now, as they can just hopelessly spam into the smoke, trying to find something. But Night exposes his body through the site in just a moment. They might have an opportunity to fight into this one with the FAMAS being at the charge. Lose one at the side hall, though. Money made. Mac 10 going to be good for it. AK-47 is going to be even better. The AWP player having to wield that one to perfection, and does. Rains it in for the double spray. Yet another hat trick. And a second round converted. It might have been a little bit close there, but a bomb plant 2 up. I'll still take that if I'm them. This is a better look, I will say, in general, from Oddik. They can get a little bit of cash put into their pockets, win out these rounds, maybe not convincingly, but consecutively at the very least, and make sure that there's no funny business coming in from MIBR Academy, because they have the round count, so they're going to be going in for that force, hoping to be able to swing out with an early game victory, but it puts them onto the back foot for yet another go at this, and inching their way round by round, fight by fight, duel by duel. That's all that they can really hope to do.
Trying to get some headshot with the Eagle, trying to surprise some of the players here, but Remix and Nate, they're very happy to find those eco kills with the Mac 10. Oh, PHX will take down Nate, but Remix manages to trade. And, you know, they only lost the Mac 10. It's not the end of the world. They can just drop this one over to him, and Remix can upgrade, or however they want to play around it. But, you know, Oddik getting rounds on the board. MIBR Academy still feeling comfortable. It's their first buy round, so we'll see if this one changes anything, right? Because, you know, when the weapons come out, it's a kind of a different strategy that the teams usually go for. And Oddik actually choosing not to play that Mac 10. They just threw that one away, reinvested into 2 weapons, just to, you know, there's not a lot of mistakes that you can do here. If you do get a mistake and MIBR Academy use it to win a round, that's 14. If there's 2, that's 15 map point. If there's 3, that's the end of the map. So they kind of need to play it, I wouldn't necessarily say flawlessly, but just try and make as little of mistakes as you can possibly do. Just check all of those angles just to get the executions through and everything. And Ricoli taking down the Ozera is a good start for the first buy round as well.
We can see now that the man down, MIBR Academy, are trying to get a little bit cheeky with their angles. They want to get farther into these peaks, and the outposted at the side hall is going to be more than ready enough for Card on his scale back into this one. Another round looking closer and closer by the second. If they can aggress to the side hall the second undetected, they might be able to find someone with their pants down, but it's going to be Naite sliding in through the side hall. A third! An absolute monster. The Terminator walks through the site and continues his way forward, even by the end of it, to find all of the kills required to win out that one in an extremely convincing fashion, albeit still much more room to go. Still, another 7 rounds required in order to tie this score up. The money won't be there for MIBR Academy once again, so that's another shining light for them. But if they can continue to win with all these players up without giving over kills or allowing for saves from MIBR Academy, then I guess that would be your ticket one way into a map number 2 lead for Oddik. But it'd be insane to see. I don't want to build the story up too soon, but definitely can't keep it out of the front forward of our minds as they continue to win.
You know, technically, D side is better for Oddik. I mean, in terms of percentages, and for MIBR Academy, it is the CT side. But the way that it's looking so far, you know, it feels plausible. This is a lot more convincing from the side of Oddik on the TE side than it was from MIBR Academy. Yes, they got 13 rounds, don't get me wrong, but the rounds were pretty much one-on-one in the end. And right now, it's the pistols that are trying to defeat the weapons, but they lose a player, Oddik, and they take down 4. This is completely different from what MIBR Academy, what was happening with them, right? They took down a player, lost 2, then they took down 2, and everything kind of like that. But right now, the Ozera's all alone, and for the economy of Oddik, that's going to be good. Still, yes, they lose a player, but they keep 4 alive. It was a flawless round against the weapons, so
right,
it is looking pretty confident, I gotta say. You know, still, it's a pretty big gap, so I don't think we can start believing just yet. You know, it's 13-7. If they win another buy round and another eco, going all the way 13-9, I think then it's really scary for MIBR Academy. Actually, calling for a tactical timeout right now, just trying to make sure that they don't slip this lead that they have. Because, you know, it was them in the end who got 13 on the T side. You can't allow Oddik to come back from that, from a 13-2. This is not a map where we come back from that big of a difference, especially on the T side. It's not Anubis.
I don't think there's any map. I don't think there's any map that you can say that that is acceptable. I mean, again, we talk about stats, right? That's all we have to really go by. Statistically speaking, and in terms of the meta, this is a slightly T-sided map. Slightly. Not considerable enough to say that 13-2 is acceptable, right? Maybe on a map like Nuke, can you maybe make a comeback going onto your CT side with a pistol round win from a 13-2 down. But even that is going to be a stretch that you're never, ever going to be seeing so consistently, right? Back in the day, I'd say Train is probably a map that you might see something insane like that. But this is Vertigo. It's like a 2 percentile difference between a T and CT round. As now the flash in the face of Naite might be what they need to tick it forwards, as Naite actually doesn't take any damage somehow from Burns. I'm not sure if the movement was just incredible or Burns maybe fluffs that one a little bit, but still they'll be able to find a kill, not over in mid, but instead over at the bottom of the B bomb site between A and B. They will now rotate their way back in through bomb, yet to be picked back up. A minute left onto the clock, and they need to get control and decent enough towards the top side of the A site now as ramp is there, sandbags is cleared, and nobody is aggressively inside of the side hall other than the op posted up on it, but the bodies you hear from Mibr Academy.
Very good setup from Burn and Diozera. And also card is towards Ivy. Ricoli needs to get an instant headshot here onto the Opper. If not, I think he goes down, and it's still an awkward position when they try to push into the side. Oh, Burn, he tries to get aggressive, catches Remix with an 8 in hand, and they're trying to answer, but Diozera's also there, and Rise gets an answer, but it's only one that he gets so far. Ricoli takes down Burn, goes for the plan, but Card is there to deny it. 14 for the side of Mibr Academy, and, you know, it took them some time, but at least they get to 14. Still not safe yet. You know, it's technically 15 when you are safe, but the thing is, Oddik, they just got some of those good rounds with a lot of players alive, so their economy is looking very good. You know, VLA was on 12,000, so it's still a good situation for Oddik, but if they want to come back into this one, you still need to take more, and Ricoli does take damage. Is the first one to go down, actually. Diozera to finish that kill.
They're back to winning ways, Mibr Academy, so it seems they've already got themselves a main advantage here. Don't go too far forwards. Don't get too hungry right now, Diozera. He can be seen through the backside of the tarp, and he will go down as a result of it. The spam is there. The gun barrel was spotted by Naite around the edge, and now Card's going to try and do something with his op. At the sandbags, though, now has to just try and get away more than anything else, and as he's caught in the middle of nowhere, this one's turned onto his head. 5 versus 4, turn 4 versus 3. Burns still here. The 3-bomb site setup is something that they've been used to. But I like this position. I like it a lot. I don't think they're going to hard clear him onto this one. They're going to have to look into a very awkward position, but as he does walk his way up, VLA can react in time, snaps onto the dome, and maybe an 8th on the horizon now for Oddik, and they will be going in for the save. This cannot be how this one plays out. Too far separated at the top side of the ramp, having already gotten a man advantage. You have 3 players on A. One of them is at the side hall, one of them is at the sandbag, and the other is nowhere to be seen. He only activates after both of his teammates had already gone down, and that's not going to be nearly soon enough to be able to stop them on their onslaught into the site. 1 kill maybe at the top side of the crane, but you're hoping for a transfer of a lifetime to do any more than that. VLA won't even allow for it. Unlucky, because we have now, what, a 6-round difference?
Yep, and you know, they save those 2 weapons, so they might be able to squeeze another buy-in. We'll confirm in a second, but you know, if they're forced into an eco after this, oh yeah, they get another buy-in, and they're on full loss bonus, so as long as they save some of those weapons, they might be able to buy up once again. That's a silver lining for the CT side, because you know they can plant the bombs, so they don't get that extra money that the bomb gives you. But if they're forced into an eco and everyone goes down here from the side of Mibr Academy, as Diozera is the first one found by Ricoli, it's going to be an eco for them, so that could give the chance for Oddik to get to double digits. And when they get to double digits, it's scary. You know, it's 14-10. There's 4 rounds between the 2 teams, and yeah, it's a scary thought. But we'll see if Mibr Academy will, or moreover, Oddik will make that thought a reality, or Mibr Academy, they'll just keep it as a thought and get this one home, and you know, get themselves at least on map point.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Sooner rather than later. It's comfortability of at least knowing that you have overtime secured should this one go down south. But over to B, and funnily enough, Mibr's game plan, their strategy more often than not on their T side was to take it over towards this B end, and I don't think we've seen Oddik do it very much at all, and now they finally do, and there's nobody home. They're playing for the save now, Mibr Academy, with all the weapons that they have. They don't have any money into their pockets. They don't have an AWP. And somebody's going to buy up for Diozera into the following round if they want to have any sort of an answer back. So they at least buy themselves some time in terms of the purchases moving forward. So that's pretty decent. It's probably the best case scenario in a 5 versus 4 situation. I wouldn't have gone for the retake. And if it meant that I had to gamble the fact of losing all of my guns as a result, I wouldn't have done it. So this is okay. They'll take this for now. 9, and then up against 10, they'll have pretty much everything that they need to try and stop it. But after that, I guess we can really have a conversation about how this one might go down because, man, tactical timeout going to be called by Mibr Academy again, and I don't blame them. They need to figure something out. They need to find answers to answer these problems that have been put forwards, not towards B, but towards A. It's a completely different look from these two teams on both of these different halves. And man, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, I don't know either, Tony. I mean, as we saw the half, it was 13-2. I guess we were both expecting, you know, it might be our academy is just going to take this one, and we'll see where overpass goes. But just the fact that they lost the previous time they played, I know I've been highlighting this a lot, but, you know, it's a very good assumption what we could expect, right? Because they lost 16-4. And it wasn't Oddik doing good on necessarily on the T side. They did really well on the CT side. Didn't do here. But they're trying to come back into this one. And if somehow MIBR Academy don't manage to close this one out, it's going to be a very, very scary overpass. Because, you know, you were on your own map pick up 11 rounds. Right now, it's a 5-round difference. So Oddik, they claimed 6 back. Well, I guess you could call 7 technically, because MIBR Academy did take 1 as well. But, you know, so far, it's looking solid for the side of Oddik. Not more of those very close rounds. And just because the economy of Oddik is looking very good, that's a very good point that, well, at least helps my point, that they're keeping a lot of players alive. Oh, card. Surprised by VLA here. So another opener going the way of Oddik. And it's not their best start. Again, looking towards that A side. At least the bomb is for the side of Oddik.
I am not too big of a fan of the position that they now find themselves in, MIBR Academy, and I guess they aren't going to be too big of a fan of it either, considering it's they who now have to play it out and figure a way through the pit that they've fallen into. Still, all the bodies are here at A. There's 35 seconds under the clock and ticking. Molotov to the sandbags won't exactly hit its mark. Nightay will send another one through. And Burns now, as he does burn, is going to have to fight through and does find one side of the site. Dio's there. If he can find one back and make it a 3 versus 3 to fight back into the site at the end of the round, that could be good. And that's huge. Really big for them now with a Molotov still for PHX to isolate an angle later on. A Molotov to default, though. A smoke on top, read by Riccioli, already pinned, pulled, ready for the fight as well. This guy is on one. Absolutely beautiful round coming out from him. Down, but I guess not out, as PHX wants a little bit more of the action.
PHX slowly backing away, and well, it's a smart one. You know, he's the only one that is out of money, and they're gonna get 3,400. So there's another buy to come in from MIBR Academy. Surely he has to save this one. That's double digits for Oddik. Right now, you know, maybe we weren't really believers up until now, but now it gets real. When you see 10, it gets very real right now. And again, in MIBR Academy, they haven't claimed map point. So the pressure is on them now. That's one of the main points I'm trying to make with double digits. The pressure is even bigger now. And as they didn't claim a map point, if somehow Oddik managed to close this in regulation, that is a complete disaster for MIBR Academy.
Yeah. You can't really call it anything else, right? There's no other word for it. We're going to need to see a lot more from Card on this CT side. He's their AWPer. He's done nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's gotten maybe 1 kill all half long, and he's had the sniper multiple times. Remix, at the very least, was having some success over on their CT side. Despite only winning out on 2 rounds, he was still here and there finding these picks. And even on the T side, continuing his way forwards in similar fashion to his predecessor, but he's exceeded him now. He's gotten more kills than he has since that point where he was at maybe 6 or 7 by the end of the previous. Now on the offensive, making it work much better. A B bomb site execute to the end with 2 players here could be what the doctor ordered. Rise, the 1 HP, not sure if he was spotted from the back of the bomb site. How has he not been? What? Nyx doesn't see him on two different jiggles on the one angle that he's holding. He's not looking anywhere else. PHX tries to drag them by their feet across the finish line, but right now as they take these individual 1 versus 1, still favoring the Oddik side. Eventually, though, over the top of the smoke, Diozera, the hero for them in this game thus far, continues to be exactly that. 24 kills to his name, and Remix now left into the clutch. Card misses another shot. You can't be missing shots like those.
Oh, and Burn, this one should be an easy one for him. Oh, he takes down Remix in the end, and they will claim a map point. I might have cursed Oddik. That could be on me. I understand, but it might be our academy. He claimed around in the end, and it was Diozera. Just he didn't really see a lot there, you know, over the smoke as we were looking from his point of view, and the X-ray was disabled, but he spots something, you know, and I think he saved the life of his teammate as well. Yeah. Very, very important double kill just to turn the situation in favor of Mibr Academy. And right now with map point on the board, they can breathe a sigh of relief. You know, as long as they got 15, they cannot lose in the first 30 rounds. They could still be taken to overtime. But just the fact that they're a little bit safer in this position. Flashes come through and they're trying to aggress, but the mollies just will deny that. Diozera. That is a very interesting nade. Doing some damage there to a player from Oddik. It was Ricoli to receive the damage.
All things considered, from 13-2 to 15-10, this is respectable in its own regard. As I said, I mean, it's better to make it look like a close game than anything else if you don't really expect to be winning it out. You still can't give up. Round by round, they'll get themselves a couple more of these impact rounds. Boost those HLTV stats just that little bit more from what was a dire look previously if the pistol round would gone the other way. Dude, Naite is an absolute monster. Look at him in that picture. That guy's got huge arms.
Yeah, you don't want to talk smack online and then get to see him on LAN.
No.
Ricoli. I realized when you said it, it's not Ricoli, it's Riccioli or something around those lines.
Yeah, I don't know. I just say Riccioli.
Yeah, Riccioli, I guess. Yeah. You know, it's not. They're not from Eastern Europe, so I don't really know how this one goes, but you know, at least we're close enough. So. With a 4-on-4 right now, they need to go for the retake, and Rise does very well to cover for the flank, but ooh, he abandons the plan. And right now, it could be Nyx to strike. Oh, he's been spotted. Riccioli to take him down. Remix with the optics on PHX. He expects burn as well, and right now, it is Card in a 1-on-2, but there's no more time. So Oddik will claim round 11. And it might be our academy. They're still good. They could still be good for another buy. It's like they can't run out of money.
Dude, I mean, Remix again. I mean, those are the first 2 kills in this half for Card, I believe. He might have gotten 1 before, but I don't think so. I don't remember it. But Remix is just one-upping him at every step, at every turn. 1 kill into the back lines, onto the ramp flank, onto one of those 2 CT players trying to find him. Could have been the difference maker in the end stages of it, but Card forced to save, keeps his AWP. Diozera keeps his hot game going. Speaking of hot, the Molotov thrown in won't actually... I don't even know where it landed. I didn't even hear it pop, but... might have just extinguished inside of the smoke. He'll be able to get away with his life. Not with the rifle. Remix is going to be zoning that one out and making sure that nobody is going to be able to get close enough to that one as his teammates do join up with him. They scale up and forwards. And this one with a man advantage won't be easy for Mibr Academy, but again, Card's AWP. It's something that can be a consistent factor in these games, something that could be a tide turner, and one single moment they could find themselves in a 5 versus 3 and able to just throw bodies willy-nilly at them. But Naite is going to be clearing out this corner pretty cautiously, able to do it without too much struggle, and the bomb can be planted as well.
the pistols. The pistols have been a very important part of this game, and we've seen rounds won by them. There's also the op in the mix. Oh, and they're being spammed. Very good damage to come through, and trying to get an answer here as Remix takes the head of PHX. Nate lands a headshot. Burn will find Remix, but that up will be leave surely, because that's the end of the round. Maybe some more kills to be found. No, it is Rise to take down Card. It was a half buy in the end, so Mibr Academy will be able to buy up, and I respect the half buy, even though they could have forced up, you know, buy on 12. If you lose that one, eco and buy on 14, so you get as many buys as you can out of this economy. But it's just the, you know, the worst scenario for them if they have to buy at 14 as well. Right now, moving into round 28, a round that we never thought we're gonna get here, you know, just judging by the first half and how it went for the side of Mibr Academy. Oddik, they just played an insane T side so far.
Here we go. What is potentially last chance saloon with a full purchase for Mibr. We'll have to wait and see what is to come. Nix and Burns already relatively low on utility. PHX not too far away. Card the only one with a full set, and he's got that sniper rifle waiting to rotate back in and around. He's holding right now over towards the A-bomb site. Two players between one another in mid are going to be able to walk through. As it stands, the damage has already been dealt into VLA. A great start for them with 50 seconds under the clock and no info gained. That could be the only problem for Mibr Academy, and they've struggled with this A ramp, and this is exactly where the hit is going to come through. The bomb on the back of Remix. A demon so far on these A-bomb site takes. Diozera, though, he's been their difference maker time and time again when they make their way in. If he can get over the top of that default box, or rather the headshot box again, and find one of those opening picks before they get into the site even, that could be everything. Smoke onto the bodies. Molotov will fade, but Diozera, he's here, not over the top of the headshot box, but instead, success at the side hall.
Oh, PHX spamming through the smoke. Will go down to Rise, actually. Oh, but they don't have the bomb. The bomb is dropped towards Ivy, and oh, there's no more time. Remix, he can't take all of them on. There's 2 seconds left. The game is done. Lands a couple of shots. Nice shots there, but he took a lot of time, and the bomb was dropped towards Ivy, and with that, it is Mibr Academy to close it out in the end. You know, a very good try by Oddik, and that's going to give them a lot of confidence moving into their own map pick. But what a map to end. I mean, 16, they reached 16, but they couldn't do it fast enough. It was 13-2, and it ends 16-12. You know, I'm just imagining what would have happened if those sides were the ones that they started on. You know, it was at this point a 10-3 favoring the side of Oddik. It was a very good T side from them, but it wasn't enough to get them over the finish line, and that's about it with Vertigo.
Yeah, they bring it as close as they can. They get it. There were 1 or 2 rounds that they slipped their way in with maybe a kill or 2, undetected by the player in the back of the bomb site on one of those rounds, and they found their opening from Rise. Other than that, it was almost like they both had the same issues, but in complete reverse.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, we'll see if those issues persist into the second map, because the second map is Overpass. We're gonna take a slight break, but when we come back, we're gonna see Oddik duking it out against Mibr Academy on Overpass.
esport. You and I have come a long way. It was such humble beginnings. As we gathered in small groups, we were professionals right from the start. Passionate, organized, and ready to rumble. We dreamed big, and surely enough, our parents supported us at every step of the way. Didn't they? Fired up by all this love, it wasn't long until we caught the scent of competition. To be honest with you, it wasn't always that easy. Joe here, he had to take on 2 side jobs to afford playing professionally. It's gonna get better, Joe. Fist bump. Some of you dared to not even call this a sport. And look where we are today. An endless stream of esports events every year. Bet you didn't see that coming, Mom and Dad. And you know what? We have been with you every single step of the way.
Dream of working with people you watch on screen. Exclusive esports opportunities handpicked just for you. Candidate profile to raise above competition. Let 10GG handle routines. Make a step towards your dream today.
Well, Pop, we saw that one go from 13-2 all the way to a 16-12 victory. Although, for MIBR Academy, it did get a little dicey there, a little bit rough for a minute. Into the next map, though, we move forwards, we move on, we GG go next. Overpass, Oddik, get their map pick. Not exactly a great map for the side of MIBR Academy, but I would say better in recent history than their Vertigo was.
Yeah, I mean, just it's technically out of the 3 maps that are playing, they could be playing today, this is the best win rate that they have, right? And for Oddik, it just gets better with the map. With the further they go into the best of 3, Overpass is better than Vertigo. And well, actually, never mind. Nuke is a little bit worse than Overpass. So technically, Oddik, they have the best chance here. But MIBR Academy, they're also on a 40% win rate. Obviously doing better on the CT side. I mean, wouldn't really expect them to have a better percentage on the T side, but they did play against Tropicaos and did win against Meta Academy as well. Did lose against Furia Academy in overtime, but I gotta say, for Furia Academy, Overpass is not a bad map at all. It's I think in terms of win rate, it's not the best, but I remember them playing when they had Drop in the lineup as well. So it's still a very good map for Furia Academy, and maybe our Academy managed to take them to overtime. But we are live with the map, and interestingly enough, Oddik won against W7M Academy on this map. So it should be a good one for both of them. Oddik will start on the T side as it is their own map pick, and it might be our Academy, of course, they do want to start on the favorite side. But if they get another huge lead, they could be okay. At the same time, it's a very CT-sided map. And, I always remember everyone, the game between Liquid and Vitality, where it was 12-3. They won piston round, but after that, it was Liquid to take Vitality to overtime and actually win the map. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's a piston round, and this can give an early lead to a team, or, it goes either way, and then the pistols, the Deagles, and the 5.7s or the Tech 9s can do a lot of the heavy lifting. Although that's a little bit too far ahead. Let's just focus on the action at hand as Burn tries to get some peeks and goes out, and he doesn't get anyone else. But everyone is here. Everyone is on this A side. It's going to be basically a 5-on-5. Try and take the site. There's a team headshot there. But it is a 3-on-3 with multiple players from MIBR Academy tagged up.
Trying to finish this one off with a P250 is VLA, already having done his work and low on HP around the other side of dice. Now he's going to have to find all of the kills at the end of the round. A third required of Card, who's already low. A third also required of VLA, but Card over the top side of the dice catches him on a better angle. And okay, Mibr Academy looked like they were letting that one slip for a minute there, but even so, they win it out. They make it look like we got a little bit of fight left in them. Gotta say, VLA's P250 shots here looked like it was enough to carry them across the line, but the timing to slip out through the backside of dice, perfect for Card.
And again, even though it was a 5-on-5 on the site, Mibr Academy, they managed to pull through, but he was still clutch with the dualies. So, right now, Oddik not going for a force buy. They didn't get a bomb planted, so there's not enough money for gaules and all of the sort. Just gonna go for the Glocks, and you know, I know how I was saying that they need to get flawless rounds in Mibr Academy on the previous map as well, but in this one, it's not gonna be flawless, but they still hang on to or at least 4 players hang on to their life after the round ends, and the Glocks only take down a card. The weapon will be dropped over, and they're gonna be okay. But now they're gonna face the AKs because Oddik did go for the eco, as I said. So right now they have money for the buy. Interestingly enough, Remix going for the op with no armor. It's a glass cannon op. So we'll see how that one goes for them. Because, you know, in the long range duels, yeah, he's going to have the advantage. But a bullet from even the FAMAS goes towards his head, he's gone.
Yeah, he was pretty confident with it over on Vert, but this is a different beast, a different animal to try and take on. Already down so far. And he will strike first, actually. Does find one, barely through the corner of the wall, finds his head of all things, needed to in order to finish the kill, but they want to get it back. They want to bring back this man advantage now to a 4 versus 3, but not going to be the case. Remix. Disgusting work over at the B-bomb site, and you say it. One shot to the head will be all that it takes, but he sends them reaming with some shots of his own.
Yeah, an awkward situation for Mibr Academy. Riccioli gets the frag onto Burn. And PHX, he's the last player standing. They're going to move into the safe side. And PHX, there's a chance for him. 3 players, low HP. And, oh, he's going to swing. No one knows they spot him. That was one of the full HP players. PHX just took a little bit too long with that duel. Could have taken out 3 and the bomb as well. Just imagine. PHX gets himself into a 1-on-2 with a player on B, a player in bathrooms, and the bomb is not planted with 35 seconds left. That is a scary thought and a scary situation. Good try by PHX, but it just took too long to take down that player, and also lost a lot of that HP. So with that, Oddik will claim their first round on the T side here on their own map pick, and that just sends Mibr Academy into a force buy with a couple of pistols. The scout for Card, and he wants just to soften him up for you know, for the Deagle or for the 5.7 or even the weapons. But we'll see if that goes on good for him. Oh, Burn missing the chance there on the VLA. I thought it was any day of the week Burn winning that duel, but it seems like VLA has something else in plan.
Yeah, Remix is so close to catching him. No! On the drop, what are you doing? He just shot his teammate. There was nothing even to shoot at. It was just a rock. He would have just been shooting at the rock if he just shot for any. I guess he misclicked. I guess. I don't know. That's going to be really, really hard to work with for the rest of the round now. 2 players on red HP. There might be 2 players in the advantage, but even so, pistols, 5.7 especially, 2 shots to the side, 2 players dead, 1 shot to the head, another. VLA on 33. I don't want to write them off too far yet, but there's nobody at the B-bomb site, and if nobody hustles their way down and over, the gamble stack towards A won't pay off, and they will be able to walk away with the round, Oddik, but even so, that one gets dicey, even though it doesn't have to. But a convincing conversion with 5 alive could be just as good as you could have hoped, considering the factors put ahead of us. The facts of the matter, though, are that the CT side are not going to have a buy into the next round either. They're going to be taking another one of these eco rounds, probably. Scout picked up is going to be nice. He can drop over his pistol to a teammate. So, yeah, I mean, it's a decent result in terms of the saved guns, but they would have liked to definitely have closed out onto one of these kills. gotten a better rifle to walk away with. A FAMAS is going to be okay, but even so, 2-2. Oddik not out of this one just yet.
And you know,
Bomb
the
plants
save...
are good too.
Oh yeah, and you know, the save is just the smartest decision here, because not going to be anything to play with into the next one, as they're on 1900 loss bonus, and they just get some things over. PHX, he saved the 5-7 as well, so he can drop it over, or the scout for card. And still, if card keeps on getting tags with the scout, it could still prove very useful, even though there's a USB in the mix and all of that. For the pistols, it's very important for the scout to hit as many hits as he can, you know, 2, maybe even 3, and if he gets 3, then it's kind of scary for Oddik to push into the sights, and, you know, that can ruin the concentration a little bit as well. Diozera, very close to long with the Deagle. Will there be a flash coming through? I doubt it, but Diozera misses the shot. Oh, they know he's here. He's going to back away. But where can he go? He's either in bathrooms or behind the tree. He takes down Nate, though. So there's at least a kill that has been found. But Remax is holding down the angle and the shoulder peek. A very quick shoulder peek by Card. But he gets the info that the Opper is still towards a long burn. Tried to surprise with a USB. Couldn't do it. Riccioli was holding down for that angle. And it's a 4-1-3 favoring Oddik, as they're trying to move towards that B side. That's where PHX is waiting with the 5-7.
Yeah, I mean, at range, it's not a good weapon for the job. So he does realize that now the time is ticking down lower and lower. So if they are to make their way into B, he needs to get closer in proximity to them. Holds an HE, so once they walk through, they might eat that one flashbang out. He'll toss it. A lot of damage actually connects onto them. Maybe able to finish off a couple of these with the 5-7 tapping away at the chest level. A little bit of a distance separated between him and VLA. The same for the player deep at CT. And they're both going to fall. Nix, he kept that FAMAS from the previous round. He's going to be keeping it once again. He's not going to be going in for this one. And I do have a question for you. You've been casting this for a minute now. What are your thoughts on who you think one of your favorite teams to watch in this event so far have been?
Oh, I mean, certainly Furia Academy. Right, they seem really strong, and I'm also very excited for the next game for Oplano. I've seen Oplano, had the pleasure of casting them in a different tournament, and they were looking very strong. I really liked their playstyle. I really liked everything, how it looked for them. So those are two teams that you certainly want to keep your eyes on. W7M Academy as well, because they seem strong as well. But you know, it's just, you look over the rankings, right, and it just paints a very good picture for the teams that maybe people considered not to be that good, because, you know, INTZ had the best ranking on HLTV when the tournament started. Right now they're in a 1-2 bracket. Arctic withdrew, so we can't really say anything about them, but, you know, Fury Academy, the third ranked team technically, on looking pretty strong.
I think Fury Academy is really good, to be honest with you. Like, very, very good. They have an average age of 20.7. One of the youngest academy teams in general, I think. And they look really, really solid as a unit. They've got a lot of individuals, and they also just make smart decisions on top of being individual. So, I think it really bodes well with maybe their future in the main academy, or rather the main roster at some point in time, perhaps. Maybe down the line when Quesarado and Yuri decide to stop being some of the best riflers in the world. That doesn't seem like it's slowing anytime soon. And speaking of those players, it's Fallen now being apparently looked at by their main roster. Very, very interesting times. But inside of the toilets, one player plays on either side of the divider, and he actually will be caught by Remix under the flick down, where it's Card. He catches one of his own, though, one-upping him in terms of the kills. Not able to catch anything while he's fully blinded, though.
Oh, time is ticking. Next will start a rotation, and they catch them in the crossfire. PHX and Diozera finding a couple of kills. Nyx, he swings through the smoke, and he gets both kills remaining there. Oh, it might be our academy. This was a solid setup there with a player in bank and a player behind the truck. Yes, it might have looked very well executed for Oddik as well. But you know, the flash comes through, and even with the flash, they're still getting the job done there. It might be our academy, making it equal. But you know, when they played against against Fury Academy, it might be our academy, it was an 8-7 first half, and it was favoring actually them. Then it was Fury Academy to get 8-7, and then they went to overtime. So it seems like they do know their way around the T side as well. I heard a tag there in Con. I think it was a tag through the wall, but only 2 HP shaven off VLA. You know, not the end of the world. Burn is by himself towards A, but in the meantime, Card finds Remix in Con. So there's the offer going down. Oh, Burn, surprised to see players this close, and somehow he's still alive, but he can't really take anyone down. Just deal some damage. And Oddik, they make it equal 4-on-4.
The site they go, head level is going to be where they play from the bottom side of the bank. Not able to support their teammate at the front of jump up, though. VLA still manages his one and allows his teammates to scale into the site. He's low on HP, just wants to stay alive. His life is more important than a kill right now, or an attempt at one in the smoke in front of him. That'll allow him a way out if he so pleases. Diozera also low, still managing to find VLA on a timing. I'm not sure if there was a gap on his end, but we can see much of anything. It's going to be a 2 versus 3 now into the post plant. Doable, surely. Diozera needs to be the bait, though. He needs to be the one to take some sort of a first contact, unless the off goes in for a swing fight after the first will fall. Long player done. Card looking much better now on the CT side of for pass than he did on Vertigo. Kicking things off early. And now into the clutches, Riccioli. One bullet. The difference between finding both or either of these two players, but Diozera, instantaneous headshot at the bottom level. That's all he'll need to see in order to put it over the line. They get the defusal, and off the back of him and Card, primarily through the game as a majority, I feel like that has been how it's gone. Those two really doing what they have to when they need to most. Diozera making a name for himself, and surely with Zera at the end of his name, he's got to be some kind of good.
Well, for sure, just the name gives you
Powers.
yeah, special powers, you know. But
Yeah.
well, let's see how it goes so far for Oddik, because they're playing with pistols, and it's a fast play towards short with a couple of players. Riccioli does take down the Ozero, though, so there's a weapon that can be retrieved. There's armor on the side of Nate. We'll drop the bomb over to Riccioli. It's still a 4-on-4, and I think it just becomes a point once again. Those very, very close rounds that, yes, it might be our academy in the end managed to win, but you can't really rely on that. Oh, and Card, no one was looking towards Monster. No one expecting anyone to just sneak through Monster, and I don't know why, because they had a very passive hold. And they're trying to take the side here, Oddik, but there's still 2 players wanting to deny that. VHX takes down Remix, gets a second onto Riccioli, and Nate, he has an AK, but he's in a 1-on-2. There's a player very close to the site still. It is Nyx just hiding behind those smokes. Burn just rotated in. There's a single flash that they can use on the side of MIBR Academy, and Nate doesn't have anything to throw over to try and disrupt this double hold from the side of MIBR Academy. He looks the wrong way, and Nyx will just think him twice, take him down, and they will claim another round here on the CT side. Well, that was an interesting smoke, though, that actually helped out a whole lot for Oddik in Con.
I just realized that we're one active player away from being able to make a team full of players with Zera at the end of their name.
Really?
One player away. We got Cold Zera, we got Bigu Zera, we got Venom Zera, we got Dio Zera. We need one more. We just need one more active player. There are players who previously played who had Zera at the end of their name, like 2 or 3 from Brazil also. But they're not active, so we can't put them in a team right now. It won't be fun. That'd be a good show match.
Oh, for sure, the Zeras.
Ooh. Burn Zera. Let's just change the end of his name from a money sign to a Z-E-R-A. It'd pretty much be the same. Close enough.
Well,
This one already kind of fallen on its face, though, no?
yeah, it's a 5-on-3. We'll really put Oddik out of it just yet, but generally speaking, you know, it should be round going the way of MIBR Academy. Hold is pretty solid. And Card could be surprised there behind the wall. And rotations can come through pretty quickly. So yeah, Oddik, they're taking their time, but you know, Remix finds Burn actually. So that is a good pick to find. Was getting a little bit too aggressive there, Burn. I know he was trying to help out Card, but maybe he was in too much of a forward position. And with 30 seconds left, I guess they're trying this one. I don't think they're just trying to go for the save. Oh, perfect timing. Card catching Remix. And he goes for another one. With the optics down rise, Dio0 will eliminate Riccioli, and they might have lost Burn, yes, but they still keep 4 players alive. And a tactical timeout called in by Oddik, actually.
Yeah, he kind of needed to get started as early as he has right now, Card. He was looking kind of deflated over on the CT side of Vertigo by the end of things. He had a couple of moments where he had like a double kill. They didn't manage to win out on the round, but other than that, his inability to get active in these rounds, particularly towards that A-bomb site, is something we're not exactly seeing right now. It's looking a lot more composed. It's looking like these players are able to rely on him on that upper bomb site more often than not, and he can rely on his teammates knowing that he can get the job done should they make their way in and forwards to him, and no matter whether in the front or the back. So it seems he's still able to, on a swivel, find the kills required. 6-3. Pistols out. Oddik on the back foot on the CT side. MIBR looking pretty nice. Oddik obviously picking out on the map, though. We're going to be playing on the less favored of the two sides. However, regardless of that fact, they still want to be able to pull away with at least like 6 rounds here on their T end. Because they can't really put all of their eggs in one basket. For that CT side caught off guard, though, they're going to be making their way up. It's very early on in the round, and they weren't ready for it. But VLA, he's ready for the shot over at the truck. He has been a standout player for Oddik in this map so far. 10 kills to his name. A Deagle allowing for the bomb planted, and Card has to fall out and away, and his teammates need to fight in.
Oh, they're trying to get aggressive, but it is Card and Nyx to find a couple of kills, make that 3. And as Riccioli is the last one standing, surely the defuse will just come in. He only has to take 9s. Nyx is the one holding down the defuse, and Riccioli will eliminate Dio0, but that's the only one he gets. I don't think he can retrieve that M4. Just wants to stay alive. MIBR Academy. Good bounce back. They took the duels. They did win them. You know, even though they were against pistols, I could argue that Oddik, maybe it was a little bit better just to play it a little bit safe. But they had the disadvantage of playing with the pistols, so they kind of had to try and do something. Then it went out in their favor, but at least they got a bomb planet, so that's some extra money for this one. As we move into round number 11, it's a 4-round lead. Ooh, and the feed have been spotted. Nyx can't do anything about it, really. He's just trying to spam through, but well, that's an interesting boost, though. I thought he was on the railing, but he wasn't. It was on the other side of the railing from MIBR Academy. Right now, Oddik, yes, they played a fast round. They got the bomb down onto the site. But right now, they're taking it. They're back to taking it a little bit slower. And Card will use that at his advantage. Burn eliminates Nate, but Card did go down in the end.
Did indeed. And that's going to be a nice look for them to lock down this B bomb site. Bomb now let loose. Remix and Riccioli separated from one another. Somebody's going to have to find some sort of an opening, a semblance of a pick, as a Molotov forwards allows Remix to fight in a little bit more comfortably if he so pleases, but the Molotov at his feet will deny him of that chance. Riccioli now taking matters into his own hands, trying to find an opening frag. Flicks over to the right side of the monster tunnel, finds them now a 40-second 2v3. Still, AWP can post up. He can keep this whole side of the map as clean as he wants to, but Burns doesn't waste any time getting down through connector, retrieving the AWP, and leaving Riccioli to his own devices, which he will fall from. PHX, tight angle, good kill, half one out at 8-3.
Looking solid. I gotta say, looking solid here at MIBR Academy. Or maybe even Oddik a little bit shaky. It's not the same Oddik that we've seen in the second half of Vertigo. It's more of the first of the Oddik that we see in the first half of Vertigo. You know, it's just it might be our academy continuing to win those rounds out, and with the op aggressive peak towards B. I think that's the first time Card goes for this one, and he surprises Rise. Never expected it to happen, and you know, there's 3 more players towards Monster and 1 towards Con, but they're gonna be hesitant because do we rotate out of B and go to A? Well, Card will probably be there, so we should go B. But what if he didn't rotate? What if he thought things over? And you know, maybe this overthinking will just force them into that B site, although Riccioli is trying to get some info on that A site, playing inside the bathroom, trying to push in, but they get defensive in Mibr Academy on that A site. That is the smarter play. Just try and get a little bit defensive. You know, you have the lead, the player advantage, and also the lead in the game, but player advantage is more important. Oh, Nate! Wow, you're not allowed to miss that one. The Ozera, not even in danger. He's on 73 HP.
Here. With double man advantage and 35 left. Bomb's gonna have to sprint into this site, assuming Riccioli can find a kill. And I'm not too sure if I favor their odds into that one, because they're not even close to the bomb site yet. Now they finally hit the front side of the toilets. And I don't know, I feel like I would just kind of save at this stage. And I think that that's exactly what they're gonna have to do, forced into that scenario. And they sit back, relax. That might be our academy, knowing that they've not only won out the half by 1, but by 3 rounds overall. At a very minimum, they've got so much more time left to go, and they might have a chance to extend their lead even farther forward. It's not quite at 12-3, but they'll certainly take it, I would presume. They want to finish this one in time to watch IEM Dallas as well. So it seems. 6 rounds ahead. Not a lot coming out from the expected core of Oddik just yet in terms of consistency in their performances here, as Card is approaching the same level of kills he had on the previous map already at 15. Hopefully he doesn't slow down in that second half as he did previously, because right now he's looking on fire.
Oh, Nyx. Again, they find another kill towards Monster. This time he wasn't through the Monster tunnel, he was through the short tunnel, and the flashes will come in. Oddik will try to get an answer in as Ozera catches out VLA. Nyx shuts down Nate. Remix only good for 1, and Riccioli with a Mac 10 will try to jump his way around. Claims an op, but you know, he's in a 1-on-3. It's a very hard situation, and I understand Oddik. They tried to be 2 steps ahead, right? They lost the player through short tunnel. Okay, let's push through Monster tunnel and see where that gets us. Oh, and yeah, it didn't really end all that well. Ozera to eliminate Riccioli, and that's double digits for MIBR Academy. I don't know what's up with the first halves, but MIBR Academy, they're playing this one so well as well.
Yeah. Too well. Too well. This is a really solid way of moving forwards, having forced out another technical timeout from Oddik. Now, they might not have been able to close out that first game as convincingly as they would have liked, but if they can close out this best of 3, 2-0, I don't think they'll be too upset about either the rounds that they had lost over on Vertigo, or whatever they are to lose out on Overpass here and now, because this will be a result turned onto its head from the last time we saw the two meet. Oddik 2-1, no longer a tight affair, which Oddik edge out. It's MIBR Academy. They've come out swinging. They do have that vengeance about them. They want to take this victory, and they want to take it right now. No more time to waste as they once again send out a player at the front side of this Monster tunnel. It's Nyx to try and get an elevated angle onto MSL now, backside of Jail. He's got to be careful. If he slides down this one, he actually could be caught off. He will, and his teammate's not going to be able to trade for any more than the 1.
Okay, it's a 4-on-3. PHX all the way behind ABC. Has to smoke himself out. 30 HP left, and oh, he actually headbutts the Molotov coming towards him. He's going to be okay. The bomb will be planted, and at this point, you could even say that it's going to be a save. I mean, I don't think they go for anything else. Although, some Utility will be thrown over. Smoke to come through. Flashes as well. I guess they do want to try it. Have a couple of defuse kits and PHX taken down first. Nati will try to answer back as well. But Burn doesn't get really a good chance to take one of those duels. And Oddik, they're doing it really well. Just not allowing a lot of space for the side of MIBR Academy. Card will take down Riccioli, but the bomb will explode, and that will be it for round 14. 10-4. Oddik, they surprise with the aggression towards Monster. Take 9 and Galil. It's enough to open up the site. Wasn't the best buy for the side of Oddik, but they still managed to pull through. Right now, the best result becomes an 11-4 for MIBR Academy. But for Oddik, you know, getting 5 in the end wouldn't be that bad.
No, I wouldn't say so. Should be fine. Should be. Fifth isn't too far a ways away. I don't even think that, it's not irrecoverable if they even just end with 4, to be honest, especially considering what we'd seen last map, but they'd like 5. They'd definitely like 5. That'll be a solid way of rebounding from what could have been a much worse situation. As they are fast into this B-bomb site. Nobody's inside of it. They have short control with 2. And that should be the alarm bells now ringing off in their minds that there's got to be some sort of control taken elsewhere in order for this to be the case. Nyx is separated from his teammate who's now made his way into the site, though. PHX needs help from the back lines, but his back will be exposed. Able to find his 1. No more than that, though, as his teammates will be able to pick up the pieces. And they are that one step closer to being able to close this one, as there's no way that Rise and Remix can plant this bomb without a kill.
Oh, Burn takes on Rice. Nyx eliminates Remix, and not really an eventful finish to the first half. Just 2 quick kills, and that's about it. 11-4. Pistol round is going to be very important. If MIBR Academy get away with a pistol round, well, I can get them to 13. But if Oddik actually managed to get away with a pistol round, well, that becomes a little bit scary for MIBR Academy. You know, the scores, people are talking about it. It's a treacherous score. They're not that far ahead. So you need to be careful. Now, let's see how it goes. Oddik just now swapping to the CT side. MIBR Academy on that T side, the less favored side of the map. But they have some utility. They have a P250 in the mix as well. So we'll see how this one goes, because it seems like they want to be aggressive here, Oddik. And Riccioli taking down 1. Another flash to come through. Nyx manages to trade, but only good for 1. Card finding a double. Nati to answer, and PHX is the last one standing, but Nati with the double kill will end it in favor of Oddik. And the first hurdle has been passed by Oddik.
Here's that same start we were seeing last time, right? That pistols kicked it all off. And we're just a decent bit closer than we were at that point to tying up that score line than we were previous. So we'll see if that has any sort of a implication onto what's going on for the remainder of this game. We'll see if there's a little bit more bite from the Oddik side. A force back in MIBR. It didn't work out for them too well last time we'd seen it. Perhaps now is a different story. They're on their T side, not their defensive end, and if they can get close enough to that A bomb site without much contact made, they might be able to enclose into those close range bites and maybe even find a little bit of success in the post plant if they can get one down. Run boost not going to work out. Remix deep towards long. He won't spot them until they get around this corner. So I said if they want to get closer, as they eventually will, it's going to be an A1S on the other side of them. Not the best weapon to fight up against. It's probably going to be Card's scout that needs to do something if anyone will get this kicked off.
Slowly making their way towards that A site. The molly comes through just to delay push through bathrooms. Flashes as well. Oh, that's a perfect flash. Remix spawning out 3 players, taking down 1 already. And that scout has been taken back, but oh, they didn't even know the Remix was there. They thought he peeked from the site. Allowed to get another kill. Right now with a 5-1-2, you know, it's just, the round is over for sure. Dios are taking down Nati. At least there's some damage dealt. But in the the end. PHX will fall to VLA, and that is 6 for the side of Oddik. Might be our Academy as they forced up here. We won't be in the best situations in the next round. It's going to be an eco from them, so there's a good chance for 7 for Oddik. And, you know, that's why they call it a kind of a treacherous score. You know, 11-7 after just losing the piss round in the end. Basically the first man, the eco. It's just a very small difference between the two teams compared to, you know, 7 when they were 11-4. You get up to 7 yourself as Oddik, and there's only 4 rounds between you and MIBR Academy.
Yeah, next round will be their last big buy. It might be our Academy for quite some time. They're going to be setting themselves up to have an AWP if they can get that bomb plant and a couple of kills to boot. CT side playing on some sort of a bonus right now, though, some semblance of one, as they still do have 2 MP9s up and a FAMAS for Riccioli. Make up a little bit of that money that you've lost out on, as Naite will be able to start it off. He'll be the one to make his worth their while. And alone at the top side of A, that's the MP9 eventually dealt with, having found 2. His life will be doubled up on, though, so it won't be lost in vain. Still would have been hoping for just a little bit more. They'll be able to get in. Tight angle, gap for Riccioli. As soon as they walk across, if they're not holding for it, they're going to be in for a rude awakening, and they aren't, but he's not able to connect onto more than a couple of shots, and Remix has one in the side of the head, easy enough, not paying attention to the bank. APC is an unexpected angle. Diozer just wants to plant, but he drops a smoke, doesn't actually end up planting inside of it, though. Body exposed from the lower end. P250 tapping away onto a couple of these heads might be something worth their couple of bucks invested, but nope, it'll be another round. That 7th is secured, just as you mentioned. They're going to need that one. They grab it. And now, this is the big round. This is the tide turner to what could potentially be a closing to an 11-11 in just a few moments.
And Oddik, they'll be very happy that they didn't lose a lot of players, and they can build up their economy. Because again, as you pointed out, this buy round is very important for MIBR Academy as well. Not only for Oddik that they can make it closer, but MIBR Academy, if they take this one, they might not be able to force Oddik into a buy, the next one, you know, into a forced buy. But if they claim 2, you know, it gets scary for Oddik. It's a pretty good chance for 14 if they manage to take the next 2, so as they will be forced into an eco. I guess it all comes down to how many weapons they save, but they need to get into the situation to save first, because Remix, just behind the molly, there's a slight gap that he can peek through. And PHX, nice shot on Nate, even though he was fully blinded, but he lost a couple of teammates already. So it's still a 4-on-3 situation for Oddik. They still have the player advantage, but it might be our Academy. I guess they're trying to find a way into the site, but Remix will be forced out of position as Card takes down Riccioli. Nice shot from Remix, and he gets himself towards long. But can they take him down without losing any of those 2 players? That would be very important. Next, getting ready with the smoke onto the site. Rise is already here as the smoke faded. PHX wins that duel as well. And what's the Opera doing? Remix, he gets himself an AK. Oh, PHX sneaks through the smoke. That's perfect. VLA's been spotted by Nyx. Some damage applied to him, and it's an MP9. He has a molly.
Oh.
Throw it on the site, and PHX forced into the open. Now a 1-on-1. Both around low HP, but an MP9 against an AK. VLA slowly peeking out, and he gets the headshot. The clutch, the 1-on-2 with the MP9, and Oddik will get that one as well.
That was so tight. That was so close. VLA needed to hit a headshot with the MP9 at that range in order to win it out. He wouldn't have had enough time to be able to convert onto the spray if Nyx had just tucked down and away. If he had wrapped through CT spawn, even played for a little bit farther of a ways away. The bomb, though, it wasn't planted for him to be able to do that, and that was the only issue. If he wanted to stick onto the bomb, VLA would have been able to do so with no problems. Should he have made his way around the back lines, but Unfortunately, not able to get off the site on such low HP. PHX really does everything in that round that he possibly can in order to give them a fighting chance. He was on no HP, and he's doing a little bit more even into this one, continuing his reign farther forwards. He's down to just below half, but he'll take that opening kill for sure. Remix's AWP, he was a good, consistent factor, just holding them and keeping them in place for quite some time at the top side of the A-bomb site previously. If you can find some more kills to boot with it against them now, that's going to be one thing. But a lot of information gained by he is they lose a player top con, they don't actually scale up and through. They instead send themselves back through T-spawn over towards this B site where 3 reside, and there's only 4 players in the map in general, so going for the stack where you already had all your bodies, it makes sense.
3 players waiting for them. Oh, and the first has been spotted. Rise using the smoke. It's an awkward position. You can't. It's just way too risky to push through the smoke, and they agree. VLA losing a lot of HP to a molly. Down to 28. And they're gonna move into short, trying to play into the site from here. Where are they? 35 seconds left. They're making their way up con. Although the bomb is not. Oh, a double nade. No one hanging close, and Rise takes down Burn. But it's still a play towards A. They switched it around with 20 seconds left. Remix behind the truck. Finds one onto card. Flash is coming in from B. Oh, Remix was close to hitting that flick there, but he gets the headshot onto PHX. What a shot! Nyx manages to trade, and the bomb will be planted with 7 seconds to spare. But as they rotate in, this is an awkward angle. Ricioli still gets dinked, and they're all tagged up. But now Nyx has to pull through, has to pull with the clutch. There's a player coming in from mid, and does he expect it? He might, because the other player is not peeking out. But Rise still nails the headshot. And again, it is Oddik. Even though they're put into an awkward situation, they still manage to win it out. And MIBR Academy, they're struggling to find the rounds here. Some of those rounds, it looks like MIBR Academy have got it in the bag, you know, but it is Oddik to just pull back through. What a shot there from the Opera. That was insane.
Absolute heroics on Remix, and towards that top site, playing in somewhat of a sticky situation as he's being run down. Not enough utility to force him out and off of his angle, not enough to either blind him or just completely negate his position, forcing him away with a Molotov or a smoke, denying him vision. It's going to be just the dry aim duels and not really a whole lot you can do with that. I like the idea of the movement coming through at the backside of the truck. He still manages to hit a wild headshot flick up into the player in the air. I thought that he would have had that kill every day of the week, but Remix certainly delivering now on the CT side once more. His card has not let up too much. Everyone else has kind of fallen somewhat flat. PHX is the only player it feels like has been putting up a decent enough performance to give them a fighting chance. Rise is blind, turns his attention, turns it back into it though, and it already found the heads of 2, and low on HP is PHX from the initial duel. Needs another gun picked up because the ammo is low. Nade inside of the smoke, and only Nyx in a 1v5. The bomb plant they had for the last round gave them one more chance at a buy, and it's already gone. Double digits for Oddik. And I'm not sure that they go into a tactical timeout and that's what they come out with. I'm not too sure.